Okay, so I took us back to that, again to that save before we killed anyone, and took another look at the walkthrough, and apparently there was stuff to do with the King Pack that we missed. So
Excellent.
we
I
get to race
love
him
these
again.
guys. I love these guys so much.
Yep.
Okay. So far back, we didn't even go down yet.
Yes. I'm kind of wondering about, the duplicate wants to wait until 3:20, and given how the manual talks about the duplicate of number 5 being a right bastard, it seems like he would want to be the one you're supposed to get last. So if you get 3 duplicates, then by my counting it should be that you have... Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah, then you should have time until, 300 minutes before the shakes start. So you should still have to weather 20 minutes of shakes before it's that time. Which seems kinda iffy, but, well, let's see if maybe we can handle that.
It actually seems like a really pleasant and unexpected solution to that problem. Because I was expecting that you'd have to come into like an LA Noire interrogation style, talk this guy down. But no, he's just like, give me a bit.
I have this date with a hot chick, and after that I'm content, you can come and kill me. Or something.
Maybe he just really wanted to see the sunset.
That reminds me of the German movie Knocking on Heaven's Door. Hiya!
Blood, get me pictures of Spider-Man! Look at him!
Yeah.
I love these guys!
Yeah. Yes, we'll do that. 4734, yep. It's the same coordinates as before, I have them written down. Personally, I prefer J. Jonah Jameson when written as a character who has, actual death to him. And not just this cartoon character goes, "Oh, I do hate that Spider-Man."
I can agree. I like his portrayal in the first couple of movies.
And he was not at all in the, two reboot movies.
Yeah. Didn't he, at some point, run for office?
Yeah, in the comics he actually was the mayor of New York for a bit. And he actually is... I think he actually started, an anti-Spider-Man special task force, which went about as well as you'd expect.
It's one of the things that I find absolutely baffling with the comic. I can buy the explanation why people don't like mutants, but like the idea that anybody would be against Spider-Man, who is visibly constantly saving the city.
Also another thing, that people have, I think, rightly criticized this, this whole anti-mutant sentiment, but then there's all these other people with superpowers that people are cheering on, and how I'm also kind of baffled, how do people know who's a mutant and who has their superpowers from something else? And if you're a mutant who doesn't want any trouble, then why not just go around saying that, oh, I got superpowers, but they just came from a laboratory accident or something?
See, the explanation I have heard is that people don't like mutants because they signify what is next for humans and the end of the human race. Whereas
that's just silly.
Whereas Spider-Man just had an accident and got lucky. But your second point remains. To look at Spider-Man, you don't know where his powers came from. He's just doing all that stuff he does.
There was actually a story back when, there was the X Factor who were posing as these non-mutant guys who were actually whose job was to hunt down and take care of mutants, and Jameson hired them to take care of Spider-Man, and they went after him for a while and then went back to Jameson and said, nope, sorry, our investigation shows he's not a mutant. Which is kinda weird. Not weird in that they would take that job in the first place.
Yeah. I know that in the movies, at least, there is the X gene, which is some mutant power will manifest.
Yes.
Maybe they can identify that. I don't know. It's comic books. It's weird. That's basically all I got with that one.
Me number 1, you number 2.
Gex not activated.
Also, while we are doing this, addressing something I brought up in the last episode. The video game Agony, I has a band covered it or whatnot. Yes, by accident, apparently. Dimmu Borgir covered the main theme from Agony, but didn't know they had done it. So there we go. And you are correct in your other assumption. You should learn to play it. It's a good piece of music.
I do have a piano here. Speaking of video game music and bands, I would really like to know what is up with the Amiga theme to Ultima 5 and how much it resembles. I think it was the opening chord to Metallica's One.
You showed me that one. Isn't it just... It's straight up One in its entirety? It doesn't even pretend?
No, well, not its entirety, but... It has a fair few notes that are similar, but then it kind of goes and does its own thing. Do 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 do.
And now Metallica have put a cease and desist on this video. I hope you're happy.
There actually are a few. I do actually know of some instances of people covering a song, and it's been so close that they got an automatic content ID for it.
I had that happen once, actually. I put up a version of Silent Night, of all things, and Sony went, "No, we made this thing that you made." So I had to take that down.
Like, the people who do the Project Black Mesa Half-Life 2 mod. You know what it is?
I don't. I only know of Half-Life Source.
No, but it's, like redoing the first Half-Life game in the Half-Life 2 engine, and they are a fair bit of creative or artistic interpretation about how to do that. But anyway, I don't think we really need to really get anything out of that we already haven't. Me home planet. Duplicate trap. Yes, I also know Code Friend. Anyway,
Is that where we learned that the first time?
that way. I don't remember.
It's just something we picked up at some point.
Hyper
Yeah.
activated.
Yeah. Anyway, Project Black Mesa.
Yes.
They the voice actor they have for, I don't remember what was the name of that doctor, but actually it has sounds all pretty much identical to that doctor's voice actor in the real first Half-Life, who did like these joke covers of what was it? I think it was I got high and baby got back.
Okay.
Base activated. Box sending activated.
And they mentioned in the comments that we actually got content ID for these. They were so close to the original, something like the original.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to link you to those, provided they are still up.
Yeah. Because I know of... I know of Doctors Kleiner and Magnuson. And that's about it. Mainly because Magnuson has some fantastic dialogue.
Yeah, I think it was Kleiner. And
Kleiner's the kind of nerdy looking one who has the pet head crab, I believe.
yeah, I think that's him.
Yeah. And Magnuson is just wildly sarcastic.
Yeah, like in the cover of I Got High, it's like at the end of that song, like they've been puffing pot and stuff, and according to the end of that song, the real reason what happened with the the whole resonance cascade experiment stuff in the first game was because the people controlling it were stoned off their minds.
I don't know why, but that kind of just silly explanation is very funny to me, especially given that they've given the super serious explanation.
What is the real explanation for that anyway?
That I understand it, in Half-Life, the first one, it was because they were pushing the technology way beyond what it was supposed to do. But there's also at one point, it's because of Chell and GLaDOS in Portal. Something happened and there is a massive resonance cascade. I don't know if that's a second one or that one.
Yes, it's me, number one. Great race. Oh, it's number two, and let's see. So, right. Okay, right. I guess now we go to that planet.
Galaxy map activated.
Anyway, oh yeah, but I was kind of wondering more for the explanation about what happened. You know that, okay, but why specifically was what did it, you know, open up portals to another dimension instead of just, you know, stuff burning out and fizzling and such?
That one I'm not entirely sure. It might be something explained in lore, or it might be the science machine happened, you know? They scienced too hard.
Galaxy map activated.
Wait, what? Okay.
Hyperspace
For some
activated.
reason the button didn't appear at first. And one thing I have read regarding that, you know, the sample Freeman pushes into the beam, you know, it's like this yellow crystal.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've read that, which was fully intended by the developers, is that the same kind of yellow crystal that is, you know, the final battle with the Nihilanth. I think that's what it was called. And you have to first destroy these yellow crystal formations around the room, which otherwise keep healing it. And it's the same kind of crystal that was used in the experiment. And also there's the same kind of crystal... Wait, I don't remember. Was there a crystal also inside the head of Nihilanth or not? Might have been.
If
Anyway.
I remember, wasn't it just effectively a JPEG inside its head?
No, I don't remember. I remember that its head opens up, and
Yeah.
that's where you're supposed to shoot, but... Well, anyway, at least the crystals that, you know, protect and heal the Nihilanth, that's the same kind of crystal that was used in the experiment. Don't know what exactly that means, but that's what I've read.
That's a pretty cute little Easter egg, I suppose. And especially since a lot of Valve games seem to do that.
You know, like, all those games they've released since 2005 or something. How many have developed? How many have there been?
Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking more along the lines of how, like, obviously Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 mention one another quite a lot, but then Bill is also in Payday, as is a level from Left 4 Dead, and it's implied that you caused the zombie outbreak.
John Wick is in Payday 2 nowadays.
I didn't know.
Unfortunately, they didn't get Keanu Reeves himself involved. Apparently, he had such a bad experience with the Path of Neo, that Matrix game, that he isn't really interested in doing anything with video games.
You see, I was thinking Constantine. Was there a game of that?
Yeah, but I don't know if he provided any voice work for that. Yes, cheap. We are trembling. Yes.
Aye, we've got the jitters.
Well, Okay, now I am honestly going to check the walkthrough. What are we supposed to...
I seem to recall it made sense the first time we did this, but I can't tell you what that sense was.
Ah, okay.
It doesn't seem to have much to say.
Teleportano me like... Yep. Now we have our very own Shika Jumping King pack.
Yeah!
Okay, well, let's go, say, to this big star there. I think it's one more pixel to the left. Yeah, 695.
Those shakes have gotten a lot more frequent than I remember them being the first time. I mean, I suppose if it gets bad enough, we have the location of a duplicate. We can just go stock up a little bit.
Ooh, it's the red planet. There's no one here. Are we on Mars? Are we going to encounter Victorian British officers?
We're gonna find Warren Spector. That was a weird episode of Ultima.
2 episodes of Ultima.
What a god-awful small affair.
No, it's not.
Actually, that's good, because I can't think of anything else that took place on Mars. War of the Worlds was on Mars. Maybe Captain Scarlet. I don't know.
Let's see. Was it Ice Warriors come from Mars? Continue to induct the word that the Who is just messed up. I mean, there's been at least 3 separate underwater, settlements all named Atlantis, which apparently have nothing to do with each other.
I'm sure they've also explained the Loch Ness Monster a number of times.
Yeah, also several vampires and werewolves.
Table activated. Outcome activated.
Ooh, he likes. Okay, and I'll just pause this, not to waste time. 20702, I think that's new.
I think so. Yeah, at the very least, I don't have any notes for it. And
Okay. Laugh, and the big disembodied head with a crown on him and a cigar in his mouth laughs with you.
I remember that phrase from my grandma in the old country.
Wait, but you are in England. What's the old country?
I don't know. I just refer to it as the old country.
Galaxy map activated.
Okay, so what is it that you refer to as the old country?
Well, I mean, if you trace my family history far enough back, it's Ireland. But that's about it.
But was your grandma ever there?
No, I think it's even further back than that. But
So what you said makes no sense.
Hyperspace activated.
when has that ever happened? Come on.
And now I'm reminded of remember one episode of Zero Punctuation. Like that began with Yati saying, "You want to hear something weird?" And then he said a few words of some nonsense gibberish, and then continued, "Do you want to hear something weird but also coherent?"
Isn't the next one, do you want to hear something weird, coherent, and true?
I don't think he went that far, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Pulse engine activated.
I'm so glad we don't have the jitters when controlling this dolphin missile. This seems to be a pretty good method of doing it now, actually. Just
Also, I'm kind of surprised at how smooth the terrain animation is.
yeah. I wonder what the procedure is behind generating this.
I mean, it's it's not a real 3D. Maybe it's like some. No, it kind of looks like layers of 2D vector surfaces or something
Well,
like that.
That bit makes sense, but I don't think that the guys would have programmed in, 20702 is a planet that has this particular ridge that we're behind now.
Yeah,
This is all randomly done, I reckon.
Yeah, it seems like there's groupings of different terrain. How would I say it?
Yeah. And there is always a canyon at the end, sort of thing.
There's groups of different terrain types. Like when you first go down to a planet, you can encounter all jagged terrain or more smooth terrain or stuff like that.
Like different chunks, I guess.
It's pretty damn amazing, the things people squeezed into the limited space back in the day.
Because this was one disc, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. And then, like, no, I think the Starflight games. It's just like, there's probably, more than 200 planets. Yeah, it has to be at least over 200 planets in the whole game.
Yeah.
Each one planet is like several thousand, like, sectors on them, which each have their own elevation and location.
Oh my!
And I think locations of resources and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small nonsense, brave and not. Okay, rendezvous, not small, brave, idea warrior. Planet warrior, destroy. Warrior, and what are you talking about? Planet 1, 2. Yes, done. Okay.
I was gonna say, it sounds like his speech systems are broken like the Robheads were.
Oh, sorry. Well, maybe. I guess we'll just shove him up here and... Well, I guess there's nothing to it but liquefy him.
Disintegrate activated.
Oh. So...
We've only got one more to find.
Yes. Also, by the way, something that didn't happen with us, but according to the walkthroughs, this duplicate will not come along until we've first taken care of duplicate number 1.
Okay. I don't see anything that would have suggested that, but okay.
Well, duplicate number 1 was already gone, so...
There is also that, yeah.
So...
So what is next on the agenda?
I
Galaxy map
want...
activated.
Possible bizarre question. Does time pass while we're on the galaxy map?
Let's see, does it... Okay, it's 251... Let's see. I think it does pass, but, well... I think we are...
I mean, it seems like an obvious exploit if it doesn't, but it just...
Yeah, it does pass.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Anyway, now we have until 300 before jitter start, should be...
Galaxy map activated. Hyperspace activated.
According to what I'm seeing here...
I'm seeing the colours.
Can you taste the colors?
I prefer that route because I was going to go for the colour out of space, and oh, that's a dangerous route to go down.
Capcom activated.
Well, looks like it was correct. This is actually... You see, this is the planet where we met Duplicate 1. He rattled off a bunch of supposed locations of all the other duplicates, and he said Duplicate 5 would be in these same coordinates. And he was actually correct about that, just that he wasn't there at the moment. If that makes any sense, that seems somewhat of a leap in logic for the play that the player is supposed to make, but...
Yeah, that's a little confusing.
Well, hi. Hi there.
Is it going to be the case now that teleporting and disintegrating this guy ends the game because it's the 5th one? So we have to go and get number 4. Or at least the 4th one.
It... Might be. Then how shall we uphold our gentleman's agreement not to remove him until time has passed? And...
I'm going to say no, because blood is quite mercenary in this game.
I mean, I would like to uphold our agreement with the guy, but, well... let's just go here at least. I think this was the right location, and, well, honestly, this isn't really much of a thing. I mean, according to the walkthrough, all that really happens is that if you wait until, the time is 3:20, he'll just come along peacefully without complaints. Which would be nice to do, but, well, it would mean, killing a lot of time at this point. So... Oh, right. I loaded to a previous state where we hadn't done this yet. Well, that's the hazard with traveling to time and space sometimes.
It's a wonder we haven't met ourselves coming back.
I really like that puzzle in Millennia.
That That sounds like it could be most of them.
Yeah, but
Which one in particular?
well, like there's this one particular, random event where traveling you sometimes end up in this, weird dimension space thing where you apparently encounter yourself. And you try communicating, and it tells you, well, where you pretty much talk to yourself, of course, through that translator computer in the game.
Yeah.
And gives you some string of, says a few things, and then gives you a number. And then the next time the same thing happens, you are actually supposed to play out how that went from the opposite side.
I like that kind of thing. That's Time Splitters 3 does a lot of that. You hand yourself a key, which you have because you handed it to yourself in the past. Sort of thing.
But wouldn't that mean that the key is effectively infinitely old and it should have worn down to, metallic dust or something?
Yes, but it's okay for the use that you have it.
No, I was more thinking like it would be, you encounter yourself from the future who gives you a key, and then you go use it, and then later on in the game you have to find the key and travel back in time to give it to yourself. That would make more sense in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, in this instance, it's always contained within the one level. And it's a case of you unlock the door and a few minutes later you find like the unstable portal that you have to drop the key into.
Okay, and because you insisted, we are going to be an asshole to this guy.
Oh, it's my fault now. Okay.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Activated. Galaxy map.
Don't you feel terrible now? Well, you shouldn't, because this is just a game.
It's all just pixels. Zeros and ones interpreted by the chemicals in my head.
Hyperspace activated.
try not to
I
think
think
about
you
it.
skipped, kind of a few steps of the ones and zeros being first interpreted through the computer and audio-visual
Well,
displays.
there is that. There is that.
Okay, so now we should get something out of this guy, I hope.
Let's hope. You'd be like, hey, I've got the other four. It's basically just you now. Let's go.
Yes.
Telescope activated.
Yes, now he actually talks. Yes, I have been searching for you. Uh-huh. He has great information to give. Well, he seems rather upbeat about this.
Yeah, he was supposed to be mean.
Ooh, Toga like us. You teleport Toga. So your own clone is setting you up for a date before you kill him. This is kind of weirding me out.
The best wingman, myself.
Yes, Planet Kobo. Yes. Wait. Already. No. We had that. Well, I'm going to write it down anyway. I've been wondering about that name Kobo that is in the list of stuff to talk about. You equals me. Yes, that's a philosophical way to look at it. Huh. Well, he's quite a deep thinker.
Yeah.
You equals me equals great
Wait.
genetic.
Wait, can we just take him? He's
Yes.
given us all this stuff about going and finding Talker, but if we can just collect that guy?
Chemical
Yes.
activated. Disintegrate activated.
Ah, you see,
Galaxy map
the game is
activated.
not over yet.
Well, from what I know of games of this era, now there's going to be like a side-scrolling shooter out of nowhere. Just some demented genre change.
Hyperspace activated.
Well, let's go take a look at what happens once we go here.
It's like 2 games in one, was the logic.
And
Fusion planet activated. Fusion space at box landing activated.
Yes, the
Of course, it's armed.
Green Babe who loves us. He still has defenses that are going to try to shoot us out of the sky. Of course.
We could be any passing entity.
Yes, I mean, what, you think there's some kind of radio you could use to remotely contact people from the orbit? That's
In-
nonsense.
In fairness, that's what we're setting up now. We're sending down the other half of the radio.
Yeah. So I guess nobody has any kind of radio receivers in this universe.
I mean, it would make sense to have some manner of two-way communication beyond like the universal system that Blood has.
Which he kinda stumbled across by accident. In that, he just happened to find one of those space fish floating
Yeah.
around when they were all supposed to be extinct.
Oh, I thought it meant like he stumbled across the glyph-based communication system.
Oh, I meant the fish.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Actually, I just noticed now that we are in the canyon, it seems like you don't need to go nearly as low as out in the open for the tracking to lose you, which makes sense.
It does. Now let's see what is on this amazing planet.
Yes, which looks just like every other planet we've been on.
Icon activated.
Blood, yes. Talker, yes, we also met this Tromagic who warned us about you. Maybe she was just jealous. Ooh.
Again, I'm suspicious. Because at the very least, she seems to like us.
Yes.
Or at least be positively predisposed to us.
Yeah, so we are supposed to free her. Not sure what exactly is holding her. You, me, such great planet. Me want great home. You, me want 100 small blood.
That's the plot. We have to do this except 20 times over.
I think she was more like, let's get together and have 100 babies.
Well, yeah. My idea would be a terrible game.
Table activated.
So... Ooh. So I don't think these jitters are of, deterioration.
No. Now wait a second, why is she out of the teleportation pod and not just reclining on my dashboard?
Well, would you want to keep someone like her on ice if you had her in your spaceship?
Well, no. But I'm just going on this game's own internal consistency.
Anyway, well, this is
Galaxy map activated.
actually the end of the game. Guess there's no ending sequence beyond this.
Oh, really? There's no finding a great home?
Oh, I guess the adventure continues.
Okay, I'm with you.
And you, fish, stop looking at her like that. Anyway, yes, we completed Captain Blood. Aren't you glad
Hooray!
you got to see how this game ends?
I'm glad I was along for the ride.
Yes. And
So,
yeah,
I'm
we
curious
did have plans for doing that bit of extra at the end about cover art and another versions and stuff, and we'll get to that.
Indeed we will.
Yes. Oh yeah. You had that.
I was going to say, I'm curious, can we now just continue exploring, or is
Galaxy map
is this it?
activated.
Well. Let's go. Well,
Hyperspace activated.
let's test that. Oh, you can see
Look,
the.
you see her feet.
Yeah.
The feet don't like the graphics change.
Yeah, and there's partly the palettes changed a bit. Make it at and again.
I maybe don't think we were supposed to have done this. If we look at her, okay.
Yeah.
Box landing.
Anyway, let's finish this game in the same company we began it in.
Do you mean me?
Oh, I mean,
Ascom activated.
Small Yoko.
Awesome. You're a pretty cool guy, Yoko.
Oh, let's see. I think that says it about it all.
I think it does.